Hey everyone, Ben Cooper Radio, episode number 214. This is a short, sharp Monday show, and I'm going to go over a question that's coming on the show. It's not a question, it's kind of a statement of something that was said recently on the podcast, which I think is an interesting topic point, and we'll go over it. Before I do that, there's been two more locations announced for my tour, Stoke and Brighton. So if you want to get on them, by all means, grab a ticket. Stoke is on the 14th of September and Brighton is on the 31st of August. If you don't know where it is, just type Ben Coomber Tour into Eventbrite or shoot me a message somewhere and I will show you where the link is. Otherwise, get on the tour. I'm in Norwich, Hull, Newcastle, Manchester, outside Glasgow and Ayrshire, Birmingham, Cardiff, Edinburgh, London, Dublin. Yeah, I think that's it. Get on it. Right, so going through this question. So this is from Stephanie. Stephanie says, "Hello Ben, you've helped me on my journey and I am truly grateful. You are a steady, knowledgeable voice of reason in a sea of conflicting advice." So, referencing podcast 204, I said it was spot on, and it was. But having listened to it a few times now and reading between the lines, I realised that the truth behind the question was missed. Gay, a 40-year-old woman living in Australia, always exercised, 5'6" tall, weighing 63 with an athletic build, exercised Monday through to Friday, but relaxed and ate what she wanted at the weekends. Looked good with her clothes on, but naked, everything was going south. Bless her. What in her heart she was trying to say to you was, I was this size and weight 20 years ago and I look good. Nothing has changed. I still exercise the same and enjoy indulgences at the weekend. 20 years ago, she'd have passed Jude Law in the streets around Notting Hill and she'd have craned his neck to look back at her. Now she would pass him and would be invisible. My point is that no matter how much exercise you do and how healthily you eat, time cannot stand still. I just feel that Gay, like most of us who have hit 60, looked in the mirror naked and saw depreciation looking back. Skin tone, elasticity, perkiness naturally fade as estrogen, collagen disappear post-menopause. Sadly, clever marketing aimed at prolonging eternal youth is everywhere, and us oldies are sponges when it comes to absorbing all the unsubstantiated claims that are spewed out by companies looking to make a fast buck. There is no doubt that by keeping ourselves fit, by eating well and keeping our minds curious and alert, we will go into our third age in great shape. But we must learn that it won't be the same shape as it was in our youth. I am feeling awesome, to use your favourite word, right now. I am probably fitter, or at least I feel it, than I have been in years. But when I look in the mirror, I see laughter lines. Stretched skin from carrying 3 large healthy babies, now grown up and still healthy, and boobs that have served their purpose and now looking to the ground for a good rest. My point is this. Please continue to be an inspiration to everyone regardless of age and gender. Everyone would benefit by listening to your advice, inspiring podcasts, seminars and offerings on social media platforms. But please also stay firm when it comes to aging. Even if I exercise 24 hours a day, I will never look like Michelle Keegan again, but I may just beat her in a race. So I thought this was interesting and a good kind of topic, and it was a very nice sort of little account on a past podcast. Not many people write in and sort of give their opinion on what we've previously spoken about, and this is good, like if you've got an opinion on something we spoke about before, send it in and I can talk about it on one of these little mini shows. Maybe I can bring it up again with Rachel. It's good to go over old stuff and sort of expand the topic. Now I look at this in two ways. Like there is definitely a point that you've got to really appreciate what your body's going to do when it changes and what it can and can't do. We've talked about recovery capacity when you get old recently. We've talked about kind of aging in general. And you know, you're right. You've got to embrace things. Like I embrace the fact that I'm getting older. Like you can see that I'm a little bit older, kind of around my eyes, bit of crow feet wrinkles going on. I've now got 1 or 2 really prominent white hairs in my beard, which I actually think are really cool. And they're, for me, I'm only 30. They're only really the initial signs that I'm kind of aging. As you get to 40, 50, that's obviously going to change a lot. Now, I think one of our key points when we went over this podcast is that, you know, there's a certain amount of results you can expect from a certain amount of effort put in. Now, if you're really good and do all the right things Monday to Friday, but do what you want at the weekend, then there's a cost-benefit ratio to that. You get to relax, you get to enjoy yourself, yada, 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 but you might not get the results that you kind of expect. So I get that people are aging, they won't look as good, you'll have some wrinkles, things will look a bit saggier, skin tone won't be there, but you know, what's to say that we can't look better? And it's a trade-off. I might get to 50 and go, do you know what? I don't want to look like I put in that much effort. Actually, I'm happy to look like this, and I want to eat a bit more of what I want and relax around social environments and alcohol and maybe not exercise as much. I might get to that when I'm 50. I don't know. But I just always think that, you know, we all have our own choices of how good we want to look, how sociable we want to live our lifestyles. And you can't, and this is the key thing, you can't complain when the variables are black and white. If you put X amount of effort in and X and Y and Z variables are correct and you get an outcome, then that is a result of the X, Y and Z variables and your commitment to whatever you're trying to achieve. If you're putting X, Y and Z in and getting A, B and C out and you're sitting there complaining, well, it's not really the fault of the world. It's not the world kind of not giving you as good a results as other people. The reality is the effort might not have been there, the consistency might not have been there, or whatever. So I'm all for aging gracefully. I find it quite fascinating how my body's aging, and I really am embracing it. Like, if anything, I think I just look wiser, maybe. Who knows? But I just think, you know, there's no harm in pushing for the body to look good. And I always get inspired when I go to Mike's gym. Now, if anyone's been on a BTM retreat, they know this. The guy that owns Mike's gym, Mike, is in incredible shape. I think he's just under 50, and he has the body that anyone would be envious of. You see the guy with his top off after he's finished, you know, one of his stupid workouts, and you can't help but say, man, that guy's in incredible shape. He makes everyone look around and look. And the guy's nearly 50. Now, if you looked at his face, you can see his age. You know, he's got many wrinkles. He's had years of being out in the sun. And that is totally warranted. But you look at his body and you're like, shit, that is the body of a 27, 28-year-old with really dense muscle mass, good tone. Like, if you look closely, there's a little bit more elasticity around his skin and stuff. But I just think, you know, if Mike can be like that, then others of us can be like that if we chose to put in the effort. So I think the crux of this podcast is, look, embrace who you are, embrace the fact that you're going to age, embrace the fact that things are going to change and you're going to look different. And I think that's a great thing. But we all have choices. We can all put in certain amounts of work, and we can all get a better outcome if we choose to get a better outcome by the input that we put in. Right, that's it. That's all from me this week. I will be on the podcast later on this week with Stephen Ace, where we're going to be talking about the topic of fear and guilt, which I think is incredibly important in all areas of personal mastery, personal success, sticking to a diet. You're going to really enjoy this. So anyway, if you haven't got a ticket for my tour yet, grab a ticket. New dates added. I'm really excited. The tour's already going well. I'm just about to go and do a ton more dates over the next 10 days. I can't wait to see people on the road. Otherwise, that's me out. Have an awesome week, and goodbye. Hey everyone, Vancouver Radio, episode number 213. So we've got a bit of an injury special today. I was reading through all the